being in the fraud community, being on the forums, reading all of the tutorials, kind of talking to people on different chat rooms and shit, I kind of figured out that in-store carding was the next logical step for that. And a little bit about what in-store carding, it's kind of like the same spin off of virtual carding, but in-store carding is like, it's the information that's encoded to the magnetic strip on the back of your credit card. Now, it's the same process of the information being stored and then hacked and then sold as it is the other information. It's just a different code that you're getting. Now, you purchase this information along with a few really basic pieces of equipment that are readily available on the internet, eBay, different websites. You can then clone and encode the cards to, plastic that you've purchased, from other vendors online. Then you can go into the store physically and get, PlayStations, laptops, whatever, whatever you're doing.
So would you set up skimmers? Is that the right terminology? Where you would
No,
skim the
no, no,
card?
no, no. I wasn't using skimmers. I was cloning, pretty much just, making duplicates of whoever's debit card.
So you would buy the information on the dark web.
Yes.
You'd get the plastic cards, even gift cards. They have them online. It can look like a credit card or
Yes.
whatever.
Yep.
You would
Yep.
reprogram the strip
Yep.
with the information that you would buy on the dark web,
That's correct.
and then you just go out there and go to fucking town.
That's correct.
Now,
Yes.
was it only credit cards or was it debit cards too?
Both, but I mean, you always had to process it as debit, or I'm sorry, as credit, because obviously you don't have the person's debit your PIN number. So yeah,
So
yeah, you always process it as credit.
to withdraw cash, can't do it, but you could just basically go
No.
and buy whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, as long as their card didn't get shut down by their bank for security, and this is 20 years ago, so the all the shit that they have in place now, it didn't exist back then.
It's a lot hard.
So if
Would you
you got,
say? Would you say it's a
if some
lot?
yeah, if some sorry asshole had 20 grand in his bank account, you were gonna get it all if you didn't catch it.
So would you say it's a lot harder to do what you did back then now, definitely, or not?
Yes, most definitely.
And it would
Yeah,
definitely
most definitely.
mitigate. It would definitely mitigate any losses, right? Like you might get someone today, but you're only gonna get them for like a couple. Because I have it when it happens. They freeze my account when anything's over like 2 grand, 3 grand.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Listen, I was in the clubhouse the other night in a room, and a guy was listening to me talk, and he kind of came up and he was talking. He was like, "Yeah," he says, "I own a company, an independent company. So what happens? They've got these third party independent companies now that work with banks and payment processing um, companies. So like, so anytime your debit card's used, if they're monitoring it, they look at over 200 different data points to figure out if that transaction is legitimate or not, which I'm sure that they just didn't do back, when I was doing what I was doing. So now it's like they're looking at what time of day the card's being used. They're looking at what zip code the card's being used in, what the purchase is. You know what I mean? Like the frequency of the purchases. And if it doesn't fall in line with the algorithm that's already learned your purchasing habits, it's an automatic red flag and they shut the card off.
You just got to call.
Which wasn't the case 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's happened to me a few times when I'm out of state.
Yeah, me too. It's happened like
And I'm
legitimately.
online
I'll
and
be
shit.
like on the other side of town, and I'll fill up at a gas pump, and it'll shut my card off.
So different time, you know.
Different
So
times.
you start doing this now. You start cloning these cards. Talk to me about, man, what you start doing, how you start having fun. I mean, the money, the what kind of money do you start making? I mean, was it even worth it? I mean,
Yeah, in the beginning, I think I lost more money than I made. To be completely honest with you, I mean, I was paying my bills, and I was trying to chip away at my student loans, but it was like, you know, you're dealing with scumbags at the end of the day. Everybody's a criminal. Everybody's out to rip each other off. So it's like I'll send somebody $1,000 for cards, and then they just never send them. So I'm out $1,000, and that happened multiple times. You know what I mean? Multiple times that I would just get ripped off, and being able to walk into a store and buy whatever you want whenever you want it's exciting. At first, it was exciting. I could fill up my car with gas and I could just go wherever. I could take a trip up to Orlando. You know what I mean? I could go to Disneyland and be using fucking credit cards at Disneyland fucking all day long. You know what I mean? Like it was nothing. Yeah, like it would just get ridiculous. Like I would just go to a movie theater and I would just spend all day long and I would watch every movie in the movie theater. You know what I mean? And buy all the popcorns and go. Then I would leave there and go to the mall and buy fucking 8 pairs of sneakers and then go to dinner, and I'm taking girls out, and this is all with stolen credit, all with credit cards that I'm making at home. So it's allowing me to live a certain way that I never have been, because I grew up poor. You know what I mean? Like I grew up pretty much homeless since I was 14 on the street. You know what I mean? I was living in my car. I've lived on top of buildings. So I've never had this kind of freedom before at this point, and it was exciting.